Greetings, diners, and welcome to the Diner 2019 Summer Solstice Collapse Celebration. Now, we're not celebrating collapse, but we're celebrating the fact that we're still here, okay? And in this video, we're going to see what we're having for dinner for this feast. And the full recipes will be coming in due time, and all you're going to get here is a few small snippets of the cook for this celebration. And our meal, our prix meal here, which is free, is going to consist of a cream of wild mushroom and garlic soup, a side dish of asparagus and mushroom Alfredo casserole, and a fish dish, because the solstice is falling on Friday. For our main course, we are having a grilled Mediterranean coho salmon. So I hope you enjoy the meal with me, and I hope you stop by the diner during Solstice Week here and talk with us about the ongoing collapse of industrial civilization. Now, here's a taste of the meal. Okay, and next up, what we're going to do is add some flour. And if you recall, I told you what this stuff does is it's going to help thicken the soup. Okay, just a little more. Don't overdo it. Okay, and what you get out of this, where's that spoon? What you get out of this, just put in enough so that it's going to coat your mushrooms, okay? And what it's going to do is thicken up your soup a lot, okay, and make it much richer. Okay, it is time to put together our casserole. And for this casserole, for the bread part of it, I am using some Arrowhead Mills organic stuffing. Now, you can use stale bread, any old stuffing at all, any kind of bread will work. And then you'll, want to season it up yourself. The nice thing about this is it's got all the savory herbs already in it, so I don't have to do any additional seasoning, which is nice, right? And then after the breadcrumbs, which I crushed up a little bit, I used this guy, a pestle, okay, which goes to a mortar and pestle to do that. And now I'm going to add some asparagus. Now, depending on the type of casserole dish you use, if you use a nice rectangular one, then you can leave your spears whole, if you want. But I'm not using that. I'm using a round one. And so my asparagus spears are cut up so that they kind of distribute out evenly through the layers of this casserole. And on the bottom layer, I'm putting the bottom part of the spear that I'm using, which is, generally speaking, the toughest part. Although I cut off enough of the spears so that there shouldn't be really any tough parts to it. Okay? And then after the layer, this first layer of asparagus, I'm going to, how hot are these? They're not too hot. I'm going to layer on some shrooms, okay? And these shrooms were previously sauteed in butter. Not so much because they're not going to cook while the sucker is baking, but more because you want to get the moisture out of them so that you don't end up with your casserole being too liquid. Good morning, diners, and welcome to another edition of The Cooking Zone here on the Doomstead Diner. And what I am preparing today is one of the dishes for the Diner Summer Solstice 2019 feast and celebration. Since the 21st falls on a Saturday this year, I'm sorry, not a Saturday, on a Friday, and traditionally on Fridays we have fish on the diner, Friday Fish Day, and so I am preparing a fish dish, or fish dishes actually, for the feast. And one of them is a personal favorite of mine, in terms of swimming type fishes, salmon. Salmon is a native Alaskan species. We get the best salmon basically in the world up here, and several varieties: king salmon, silver salmon, coho salmon, etc. And there's also innumerable ways to fix it. I have done several salmon dishes in the past as things have developed here. You can bake it, you can skillet it, you can put it on the grill, you can even boil it and make soups out of it, and you can eat it raw as sashimi too. However you want to fix your salmon is up to you. And a lot of what it is when you're making a salmon is what you cook it in, and how you marinate it, and so forth and so on. And that's where the great variety comes in terms of flavors. You can do salmon basically every day of the year and never eat the same salmon twice. Although, I develop my favorites over time. And, sometimes just a real simple, just throw the sucker on the grill, and, that's all she wrote. And that's fine too. But at any rate, the fixin' for this year, or this feast, is going to be a Mediterranean style salmon. And what I have my fillet marinating in here is actually a Greek salad dressing. So that was nice and easy. I didn't have to do it myself, prepare it, although that would not have been all that hard to do. A few spices and oil, vinegar, lemon, etc. But easier out of the bottle. And what's really going to be interesting about this meal or this dish, is that I'm going to be cooking it in an entirely new fashion for the diner. You know how I am a nut about bug outs and about being prepped for shit hits fan day and so forth, and how I use electric cooking apparatus all the time that I can pack into my bug out machine, my full-size van, Savannah, and basically, as long as I have electricity, I can do gourmet cooking just about anywhere. And so I'm going to be cooking this salmon on an entirely new electric cooking device that I just picked up, and you will see it in the next shot when I stop flapping my lips here.